Hi, Dr. Dave here to talk about the top 10 things that many pool players do wrong. And if you do any of these things, you can improve your game by following some of the suggestions I will offer. One thing pool players do wrong is not keep the cue as level as possible. You don't want the back of the cue elevated like this. To get the cue more level, you can lower your elbow or bring your whole stance down. The problem with having the cue elevated is if you hit the cue ball slightly off center, intentionally or not, the cue ball will not go straight. With a level cue, the cue ball will still go straight even with an off-center hit. Some people have sloppy bridges that are not stable side to side, have gaps between the cue and fingers, or are too tight, creating too much friction. An open bridge has many advantages. It can be more stable, it provides a very accurate guide for the cue, and it has very little friction. Some people also have sloppy rail bridges like this. A better way to form a rail bridge is to guide the cue with the thumb, middle finger, and index finger. Some people stand with their head too high. This can make it difficult to see both the cue ball and object ball without moving the head and eyes a lot. With the head close to the cue, it is much easier to see the line of the shot, the tip contact point on the cue ball, and the object ball target without having to move the head. An open bridge also provides full view of the entire length of the shaft to help with visual alignment. You can get your head lower by bending at the waist or by bending the knees. For me, being tall, the knee bend is much easier and more comfortable for my hamstring, back, and neck. Many pool players have poor visual alignment and aim. Accurate and consistent visual alignment is the most important fundamental of pool. With your eyes in the right place relative to the cue, you can visualize the line of the shot and cue alignment correctly. Everybody has a unique head position that works best. For many people, like me, it is with the cue centered between the eyes. For others, it might be with the cue under an eye or somewhere in between the two eyes. I call an individual's ideal head position the personal vision center. Here's a good stop shot drill to test your visual alignment and straight shot aim. Sometimes the cue ball might go to your left, and sometimes it might go to the right. If you hit too low or with too much speed, the cue ball might draw back slightly. And if you hit too high or with too little speed, the cue ball might follow slightly. If your tip is not centered on the cue ball, you will get sidespin. But if your vision center is properly aligned, if your tip position is centered, and if your aim is good, the cue ball should stop in place. If your head is too far to your left, the cue ball will usually go to the right, even when the shot looks straight to you. And if your head is too far to your right, the cue ball will usually go to the left, even when the shot looks straight to you. Did you see the side spin on that last shot? It can be more difficult to visualize the center of the cue ball when your eyes are not aligned properly. In addition to having good visual alignment, you should also keep your face as square to the shot as possible with your eyes as level as possible. Don't turn or tilt your head away from the shot. With everything aligned and square, you will be much more effective aiming shots consistently. While checking your alignment and aim in your stance, don't move your cue and eyes too much like this. Instead, verify the tip position and alignment with the cue still, and give your eyes time to focus on both the cue ball and the object ball target. Before your final stroke, lock your eyes on the object ball target and keep them very still before and during the shot. One thing many pool players do wrong is not have a consistent and purposeful pre-shot routine. They just get down on the shot and do most of their aiming and thinking while down. Instead, you should think about and visualize the shot and desired cue ball motion first. Also, make sure the tip is chalked properly. Then aim and align while standing where you have the best perspective on the shot. Then lock your vision center along the shot line and drop straight down. and then focus only on delivering a straight stroke with the desired tip contact point at the desired speed. You should not be thinking or making decisions while you are down on the shot. Some people decide to add side spin to a shot when it is not necessary. Here's an example where the shot is straight and we need to get down table for a shot at the 9 next. Some people might wrongly think you need left side spin here to make the cue ball go to the left. This will happen only if you send the 8 ball to the right of pocket center. If the 8 ball is instead sent to the other side of the pocket center, the cue ball will actually drift right. And if you send the 8 ball into the center of the pocket, the cue ball will spin in place like this. A good way to play this shot is just cheat the pocket with no side spin at all, like this. Other options are to follow forward with left spin, or draw back with right spin. Side spin is used to change the angle the cue ball rebounds off the cushions. Left spin makes it rebound more to the left, and right spin makes it rebound more to the right. Here, I need to cheat the pocket with top right spin with enough speed to send the cue ball all around the table. A very common pool mistake is tightening your grip during the stroke. When you do this, it causes the tip to move down. That can cause you to miscue and scoop under draw shots like this. Keep your grip relaxed during the entire stroke if you want the tip to hit the cue ball where you're aiming. To help ensure your grip is relaxed during practice, you can wiggle your grip fingers before and after the shot like this.
Still relaxed.
There are many things people do wrong with their stroke. One thing is jerking the transition between the back and forward stroke during both the warm-up strokes and during the final stroke like this. Did you see me jerk the cue forward? This usually involves unwanted body motion also. Instead, bring the cue back slowly, pause slightly, and then accelerate smoothly forward, like this. You don't need a deliberate pause before the forward stroke, just don't rush the transition. Another common mistake is moving the shoulder and dropping the elbow. One problem with this is the tip will rise up, causing you to hit the cue ball higher than expected. You will also sometimes clang the cue into the rail. If you keep the shoulder and elbow still during the stroke, you will likely be much more accurate and consistent. From behind, you can see how straight everything stays with the elbow still. Now, if you can drop your elbow perfectly straight and the same amount each time, it is not a problem, but most people don't do this. Many people typically chicken wing their elbow out when it drops. This is not good for accuracy or consistency. Another common stroke flaw is moving the head or body during the shot. You should keep your eyes, head, and body still during and after the shot like this. Don't watch where the ball goes. And don't jump up on the shot. And don't use body English or swoop the stroke like this. Instead, be a relaxed statue during and after the shot. If you want to diagnose and fix some flaws in your fundamentals, check out the Best Practices checklist on my website. The link is in the video description, along with links to resource pages providing additional information and demonstrations related to every topic in this video. Good luck with your game from Dr. Dave.